Hi, I'm Jana Macon. I'm the president of Curve Dental, coming to you today from our Provo, Utah office, and I'm with our vice president of customer success, Kristen Smith.
Thanks, Jana. We do have a big team here in Utah that is dedicated to your success as a customer. Our data services team, our training team, our customer service team, our implementation team. Each team member is committed to your success as a customer.
What we're going to talk with you about today for just a few minutes is our Start Right methodology and our 5-step process. So we hope that you enjoy learning a little bit about making the transition from your current platform onto Curve. Kristen, I want to talk a little bit about what we're doing in our Start Right methodology and our 5-step process for DSO and groups to come on to our platform. We have gone a long ways to reduce risk and increase ease for the team in making that big step. So let's talk first about our on-site meeting that we have.
So we come to the office and we start off with meeting with the stakeholders. Those stakeholders are heavily involved in making the process decisions. They're going to tell us what the current workflow is, and they're going to be involved in making the decisions on what our future workflow is going to be inside of Curve. We take that information and we build the training program.
So it's custom.
It is custom.
That's terrific. I know that that goes a long ways to making it easier for people to learn the platform. So let's talk about converting data. Everyone's nervous about this, and we always have a joke. Everyone wants a new house and no one wants to move. And you know, you got to throw out your junk and you got to get rid of your stuff. And it feels that way sometimes in data, but I think the way we do it makes it a lot easier. So let's talk about that.
We create a preliminary conversion of your data, and we place that into an instance, a Curve database. Your staff members, all of you, have access to that. You train using that database. You learn what the data looks like. Helps to make decisions so that we can then move to a final conversion and have it cleaned up, ready to go, so that when we do that final conversion, the data looks great in the software.
That's really a huge benefit. The alternative that I've seen for 20 years in my career is handing data in a spreadsheet, having to deal with something that you don't understand at all. So I love this ability for people to see it in the system and work with it and get comfortable. It makes a huge difference. So let's talk about training. We're pulling the data, we're putting it into a Curve database, and training begins. So talk to us about the steps that a large group would go through in getting their staff trained.
Okay, so we've already talked with your stakeholders. They've told us about your business. Now what we're going to do is take those stakeholders through the Curve software. They're going to be the go-to people for your team members. Once we do that, then we do a role-based training where we teach all of your team members specifically about what their tasks are and how they're going to do it inside of Curve. Last, we create a custom guide for your staff to be able to utilize, to know how to do certain steps and tasks within the software. It's easy to forget. That guide tells them exactly what needs to be done.
Terrific for new employees as well, right?
Absolutely.
Always is something to go back to. I love that. It really gives them that go-forward value. So once we've converted the data, we've gotten the staff trained, and of course that we could be remote or we could be on site for that, whatever they choose. But the really critical time, and I think people are most worried about, is that go live experience. What does that look like?
So we want to help to make sure that everyone feels comfortable. So day one, what we recommend is no patients in the office. We'll finish your setup. We'll also have your team members come in and do data entry. And then last, what we'll do is we'll create a passport specific to your workflow that your team members will utilize to basically pass themselves off on how to use the software. Day two, we recommend seeing 50% of your patient load that you typically see in the morning. And then in the afternoon, let's increase it to be what you would normally see. This helps to make sure your team members are feeling comfortable, but then it also just builds that confidence. We're going to be walking around making sure that each individual in the practice is feeling confident. If we need to help walk through a workflow, we can. We're there to assist and to help and guide.
So do you find the feedback from offices that use this process, that get us to this last step of go live, how are they feeling when they get to that point?
They feel extremely comfortable. All the offices that I've dealt with that have gone through this process, by day two, they all feel comfortable. They feel confident in what they're doing. All their team members feel confident. That is such a huge success to be able to say that. That's not typical when you're implementing new software in an office, but the process that we put in place makes it so that they feel confident in being able to utilize the software.
So let's talk about the first 90 days and our 90-day success program. This is something we've invested in heavily. It has been a tremendous success. So talk about how we don't leave. We leave physically and we come back, but what happens to the offices after they go live and enter into that?
So immediately, the office is assigned account manager. That account manager understands their business and their workflows and has been watching what's been going on from day one of starting to implement the software in your practice. We also are looking at your data on a day-to-day basis to make sure that everything's running smoothly. As you can imagine, if your claims aren't going out the door or your recare's not working correctly, we could have trouble in a couple weeks down the road. We don't want those surprises. We want to know right now so that we can reach out to the team and say, hey, we need to fix a couple of these things, and we work with you to make sure that those are smooth.
I think that has to be a great comfort. I know it is to the practices. We have invested so heavily in this. And what we want is to them to know we might not be there, but we're there. We're watching in the background and we have their back. And to me, that reduces risk, it increases ease. And for the owners and the business drivers, they know that things are not going to drop through the cracks. And that really is the intent of the whole program.
Absolutely.